What's up, party people? My name is Sunny Ray. This is the Sunny Ray Show. Today I'm back. This is my second interview for the day. We've got two young guys, Arsh and Jeff. They'll be talking about their company called Addicting Elements. The title of our program is Why Your App Keeps Only 50% of its Revenue, Reality versus Expectation for Founder Earnings. So with that said, I'm going to bring on Jeff and Arsh. How you guys doing?
Amazing. How about you?
Where you guys call? I'm good. I'm great. Where you guys calling in from?
South Florida, Miami.
South Florida. Yeah, I was just telling you, I guess earlier, right? That yeah, I was down in New York. And then you asked me a question around how long. I guess what was your question right before we went live about how many times I needed to charge my car?
I mean, you took a Tesla all the way from Toronto to New York. I think that's like a couple hours. Like, how many times did you guys stop? Like,
We
on the way
stopped.
there?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's about three times. We ended up stopping about three times. But I kind of like just dialed in and made it happen. It was just like, like 4 hour, 3 hour trips each time. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was my first time taking my little ones there, and they were just like blown away by it. Like they couldn't believe how much fun it was. Like food and just people and everything. Cool. Hey Jeff, Arsh, I know we don't have a whole bunch of time together, so I wanted to kind of dive right into the deep end. You want to just maybe start off with what are you guys building at Addicting Elements? Why should people care? And maybe like what's this title about? Arsh or Jeff, whoever wants to start.
Yeah, so Sunny, we started building a mobile apps in late December last year. So our first app was House AI. We scaled it to over like 150K users in the first few months. Um, and then we also built another mobile apps. And while building all these mobile apps, we found out that the app founders, just like us, um, they don't realize this early enough that the money that they're making from Apple is actually not the actual revenue that they get into their bank accounts. There are a lot of third-party tools that they use, like Apple takes 30% cut, and if they're using attribution or MMPs, they take around thousands of dollars, around 10% of their revenue, and bunch of other tools that these founders use. So at the end of the day, you get like around 40-50% of what you actually make into your actual bank account. But apart from that, they also have to pay other things, like if they're on ads, if they pay, UGC for anything else like that. So once we realized that, we started building Fictura. So that's the whole idea behind why we built it, and we are currently onboarding other app founders to join us. So the first customer for Fictura was our own app, which was House AI, and we are saving so much, like around the costs that we were like getting like 90% has been like up to 95% now. So it's like going really well for us, and now we're just trying to scale forward.
Kind of missed that. What was the last piece about 90%, 95? Like what was the metric that you were describing there, Arsh?
Oh yeah. So right now, we have seen 5% increase in our revenue by just integrating a few tools from Fictura, and we are still going on. So we expect to, like, right now, for example, like if someone gets 50% of their revenue out of all these cuts, our target is to reach at least like 80-90%, even still using all those tools that they're still using. But through Fictura, we just like will charge them less, or like in an optimized way.
So can you be more specific? So what tools might they be using before Fictura comes versus like after they use you? Like are you essentially like combining a bunch of different APIs
Yeah.
into
So,
one? Or
so the
yeah,
big
go ahead,
the
Jeff.
big situation, Sonny, is nowadays everyone wants to build an app. So the ability to build an app is very accessible. However, one of the biggest situations with this is that you have to understand that you need tools in order to be able to comprehend the analysis, the data, and everything that's being able to applied in the entire process. So what we've been able to do with Fictura is we've been able to pretty much concatenate all this into one singular location, where as opposed to getting charged 15%, 50% of your total revenue, you only get charged like pretty much it's like 1%. So the whole idea is to save everyone who's building an app the ability to pretty much grow, scale. Because one of the things that's holding every app builder back is that they have to pay AppsFlyer, they have to pay Revenue Cat, they have to pay PostHog, they have to pay Expo, they have to pay everyone here and there. And all these tools are easily created with our infrastructure that we've been able to do in the past couple months. So we noticed this with House AI. We saw that we are going to be spending a lot of our percentage of revenue towards this other tools, but why not build it ourselves? Why not take a challenge at being able to make in-house tools for ourselves? And that is why House AI is a success, because we've been able to create our own internal tools, and now we want to share it with the world.
Maybe
Now we
talk a
want,
little bit about this other business that's a success. So what's House AI and yeah, what's the kind of the why should people care about that?
no, of course. So House AI is a project that Arsh and I started in December last year, and we were able to. So it's an interior design app, right? We focus on AI interior design, and we are in 175 countries, in 40 plus languages, and we have over 150,000 plus users in the first couple months. I think we have like a daily usage of over like 20,000 users a day. We're constantly around the clock working with different creators from the UK, from China, from Japan, Singapore, from Canada. And the whole process of House AI was for us to be able to, dip our toes inside the market of being able to be an app builder. And, being able to understand this market ourselves has able to allowed us to create these tools. Because I feel like now that we have all this experience and all this time that we understand how everything works, I think this has allowed us to pretty much create our own internal tools. And nowadays, I think this is the best time for everyone because, look, Sunny, we thought about this very clearly. A couple, like, probably like 200-300 years ago, everyone wanted to go west to San Francisco because of a gold rush, right? There was a huge gold rush in San Francisco. Everybody wanted to mine for gold. That is the app market right now. But guess what? The people who made the most amount of wealth were the people who sold the shovels. We have the tools available for every app builder to scale their project to the next level, to go on and beyond with everything, as opposed to paying 50% of their total revenue to other decentralized networks, to a centralized one application that pretty much gets it all done in just one click.
So I guess one more time though, can you tell me which software so I use a lot of software, right? I mean, like I use Claude, I use, Amazon. I mean, there's so many different softwares, right? Like I use Word, Google Docs. Like you're telling me you can't have replaced all of it, right? So which are the specific ones that you are kind of targeting first and where's your kind of beachhead, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we are targeting tools like, first of all, like payment flows, like from web to app flow. So like, for example, right now, if you pay in the app, you subscribe to an app inside the app. So Apple takes 30% cut, right? So what we are doing is we wrapped a tool around that where you can have a web to mobile flow. So when you click, the users click on the buy button, they just gets redirected to web and they pay on the web. So Apple doesn't get that 30% cut. So that's like a sneaky way to save 30% right there, and the rest of it is like attribution. So once you run a UGC program or you run ads, you have links, and you can track those links, like how, okay, I launched this ad and how much. Okay, this ad made me this much money, this much conversions, and this much is the CPA or like cost per acquisition for this ad. So you get all those numbers. Right now, people use tools like Branch or like AppsFlyer. So they take like percentage of each conversion that you have. For example, 0.10 cents or like 10 cents for every conversion that you have. So that piles up at the end of the day to like thousands of dollars. So we are trying to save costs for founders in that sense as well. We have our own light version of AppsFlyer that they can use for attribution and MMPs. So that's the second. So these are the two biggest costs. But apart from these, there are like other miscellaneous costs, like they have to pay for like loggings, for example, errors in their back end front end to get that data so that they can fix and patch those errors. So like they use services like Sentry or like PostHog for all these, like churning logs or where the users are churning. So all these tools combined in one simple tool where you can build the app and also have this data combined. So it's like merging all of them into a centralized platform. So the data
Yeah.
and the building happens at the same time. So
Oh, wow.
does that make
Okay,
sense?
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow, that's super cool. Okay, well, I mean, look, I mean, I'm kind of geeking out on this, like the details here, right? But I think as I was telling you guys before, one of my favorite things is to kind of step back. I mean, it's first of all, it's crazy that you guys are so young and you've already seen so much success with your other business and you're building things that people are actually using and you're generating revenue and then you're solving even bigger problems now. Like that's super impressive. Um, and I was going to ask you guys a question. So, like, Arsh, you raised grant money for a biotech idea, right? While still in high school. Like, well, what did that teach you about selling something that, doesn't even exist yet?
Oh, could you please repeat the
Is
last
that is
part of
that
the
right?
question?
Maybe I misunderstood. I was going to actually ask you guys about how you guys got here. Like, what's kind of the backstory? Like, you guys talked a little bit about house AI, but like, where did this all begin? Had you raised some grant money back in high school?
Yeah, I did. I raised like 100K for my biotech startup. So my grandma was suffering through diabetic retinopathy. So it's like a eye disease where you can get blindness because of if you're diabetic. So I just realized to make like, um, a tool using machine learning that can help you diagnose the disease at early stages. And yeah, I just did a research with a professor. At Harvard. And then I just published that paper, and then that research turned out to be just like a project for which eventually had an actual impact. So I got 100K grant for that, and then I helped around. I deployed that product at around 9 clinics, and yeah, I had like a bunch of success in terms of research and accuracy of the algorithm that I built.
Wow. And then Jeff, you went deep on derivatives and quant finance at 16, right? So what does that give you that, another like engineer wouldn't have?
I mean, I was able to understand how the market was working before it became like a huge market. Like before Tesla was like, thousands of dollars before the stock splits and everything. I was really focused on all the finance and everything. And I decided to really focus on spread because I think there was like naked option calls that I decided to pretty much dedicate my time to pretty much sell the arbitrage and everything. And during that time, back then when I was 16, I think it was a great time to be able to understand how both the entire derivative market worked and how you could use code to, understand how you can leverage that next step. And that really helped me a lot because now I have like a background in understanding how both markets and pretty much any market work. And now with HFT, which is high frequency trading, with AI and everything, I think this is a good moment to be able to move forward very fast and everything. And I think this time right now in this market, in this specific time, 2026, August, we have to move very fast because everything is moving faster than us. And that is kind of the thing that we both share, Arsh and I. We have the ability to both, execute, plan, and get it through. And that's why we are still together. That's why we still work together. That's what we've been doing like this is like a third pretty much startup, but pretty much it gets it done. That's the best point, and the team is what matters the most because when you have the ability to execute, I think everything else just follows through.
Yeah. And then Arsh, you moved from indoor, right, to the US 2 years ago, and you're now building kind of at this pace, right? So what's genuinely different about building here?
Um, Definitely the environment. So you get to meet, a lot of hackathons, like schools promote it. So you get that community, where you can actually find someone who matches your vision. So I would suggest, like, if someone is in college, they should find that one person or one or two person that they think would, like, believe in their vision and would support and accelerate the building process. So that's me and Jeff, we met at a hackathon in Florida itself. We also went to a bunch of hackathons together then in California, like Cal Hacks, Tree Hacks that happens in Stanford, and a lot of other hackathons. So what I've seen is like the community is one of the biggest um, uh, factor in this, which I really liked. So you get to meet a lot of like-minded people. You just have to find, your own people in your own niche, and that helps you, accelerate whatever you're trying to do. Whether it's like research or like building startups or anything that like adds value to the society.
So super interesting. Third-party SDKs take 40 to 50%, right, of app revenue. How did that become like normal, and why has nobody fought it since now?
There's really little like information out there for app building. When Arsh and I really started about like going on in house AI, we were digging through a bunch of research through YouTube, through Reddit, and we really found like barely anything. And honestly, I think it's because maybe it's gatekept, but reality is that you could pretty much reduce that whole entire cost rather quickly if you know how to use the tools at your disposal, and that's what Fictura is here to do, because we want to be able to solve it for everybody. Because right now we see the market growing exponentially. For instance, like we had an update for House AI being pushed on like a Thursday, and I had talked to Apple and had a whole meeting with them on like Wednesday of the next week. And the reason why is because they were backlogged. There was just so many apps being pushed in the market. There's a huge influx of applications being pushed inside the Apple Store. It's because right now the accessibility is grand. So why not be able to allow these founders to create success like House AI, to create success like other apps, to be able to be, you know, profitable. And that's what Fictura is all about. Being able to allow the founder who is down to go in very deep and go further in life and get it done all in one place.
You built Victura entirely in-house, right? Instead of wrapping it around existing tools. What did that cost you guys, and why was it kind of like worth it?
Which in today's day and age where we live, we have AI to leverage. So the same part that a 10-person team could have done in San Francisco 10 years ago can be done by just a 1 or 2-person team. So that's like the era we are living in right now. I think it's very, very easy to like scale products without, back then we have to like, have servers like for like databases, deployments, but now everything is on the cloud. It's just like one line of code to just deploy it, fix things using just diagnose it with AI, and like fix bugs here and there. The speed at which you can ship products now have like, I would say 10x or 20x. I would even say it's like 100x, but I don't know the exact numbers, but it's like just so fast. So this is like I think this is the best time to like build anything you want. And yeah, and you can just like just you can just do things. It's like just like um,
I love that. Yeah, you can just
yeah,
do things.
yeah.
Exactly, dude. Love it. So I guess what's the most expensive mistake you guys have had, building this so far?
Probably like wasting like not starting sooner. I think that's probably the most expensive mistake. Everything is just moving so astronomically fast, Sunny, that I think that the biggest mistake is not starting sooner. And if you don't start now, or if you haven't started yet, then yeah, it just gets more expensive because everything is just moving so fast. We don't even we just cannot leave this computer. We actually have to be here like all the day, like working on this, because it's just everything is just going so fast, Sonny. But we love it though. That's the passion about it, because it's a step forward, because everything is allowing the next generation to be able to execute and commit what they wanted to do. I mean, everything is changing, Sonny, with AI and everything that's going on, machine learning. The entire world is going to change. However, people don't seem to understand that yet. But if they do, once they understand the next step of what it is that we are going towards, I think more people are going to just jump on this. And we see this as early creators, early inventors. And we want to be able to, this is just the first step of what we are able to do. We have bigger ideas, but we want to be able to share it with the world. And that's what it is, just be able to help humanity.
Hey, can you explain Fictura to like a solo founder shipping their first app? Like what changes for them on day one?
Yeah. So from day one, so the biggest problem is when you build an app for the first time is awareness. You don't know where you're gonna spend money on. You just know that you have to build an app and market it. So these are the two main things that a founder thinks about when they start. So from the first day, they're going to know and they're going to be aware of the thing that they have to, pay 30% to Apple. So how they can reduce it? By web to mobile flows, or like by applying for the small business program, which draws you down from 30% to 15% in terms of paying Apple. So if you enroll yourself in small business program, um, within 1 year, and you're like younger than like your app is um, less than a year old, and you make less than $1 million per year, you can enroll in small business program. So these type of things, which uh, new and young app founders do not know. And also from like web to mobile flow, you can save on all the costs. Like just pay 1 or 2% to Stripe. That's pretty much it. But you do not pay to Apple. So these are the things. And also more awareness, like you have to, when once you scale, you have to do attributions, mmps, which are very important because you need data in order to know where your app subscribers are coming from. So from day one, you'll know all this information, which will be at your disposal, which will help you scale and save so much time, that it's just like no brainer to just go with it.
And
Look, Sunny, it's like
yeah, go
this.
ahead, Jeff.
Okay, so you have the ability to either pretty much be able to, make a subscription to all the other applications that are available, and then pretty much get charged 50% of your revenue, or just do it Fictura, where you get charged one, like 50th of what the entire revenue is. So I mean, it's up to you. I mean, pretty much if you want to make less revenue, it's your decision, because I mean everything is all centralized in Fictura, and if you want to pretty much go to everything else, then you have to pretty much pay the tax.
Got it. Got it. Cool. Well, I got just like one or two questions left. How CI, the one you brought up at the beginning, is consumer and Fictura is more like infrastructure, right? So why run both rather than killing one?
For House AI,
Yeah. I'm like
yeah.
saying like one is more consumer when the other one seems more like an infra play. So I
Well,
guess like are you guys going to be kind of building both, or is the goal kind of more focus on Fictura moving forward?
so we started building House AI, and we saw the problem that we were facing with being able to pay like 50% rev to all these other, software companies. So we're like, why don't we just do it in house? We have the engineering capacity, we have the engineering capability, we have the team, we have the knowledge, we could do it. So we just did it ourselves. We built our in house tools, we saved that 50%, we skyrocketed House AI, and that's what has helped us. Now we want to share that with the world, because now the whole point is like, we saw the problem in ourselves while we were building House AI. Now we want to be able to share that, like the whole entire solution, to everybody in the app building space.
Mm. Mm. Okay, well, I guess yeah. Final question, guys. I mean, great job on on your success and way to like find a like obviously a massive problem that a lot of people. But if Victura wins, right? What does the mobile app economy look like that it doesn't today?
Well, I mean, it really depends. So, for instance, we progress daily exponentially. If more people begin to use Fictura, then there will be more economic growth, because there will be less spread towards the other competitors. Therefore, there will be more growth to a decentralized network of founders, which would in itself create a new economy that would allow more people to come in and create new creations of apps, new creations of inventions in the digital space for mobile apps. There's a lot of ideas, a lot of abilities to do it. And there's a lot of founders out there who are both either young or, pretty much in their 9 to 5, and they have the ability to be able to execute this correctly with marketing strategies. I think this economy is going to grow. So if you have the ability to share this, your talent, your skill, your new invention with the world, I think this is a whole new economy that's going to pretty much expand.
Cool, guys. Sounds good. That's kind of the end of the interview. We're at the end of the time. Thank you. We have quite a few people listening. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Anything you want to share, Jeff or Arsh, in terms of I guess where people can learn more in terms of the website and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go on Fictura.co, and you can request an update for everything, or you can visit us at House AI and everything. But the whole point is, you know, this market is growing, and if you want to be a part of it, this is the time right now. Just whatever you do, just jump on this train. This is just, it's just not stopping.
Yeah, yeah. The AI thing is just so much fun. Cool. Well, hang out for 2 minutes, Jeff. Arsh, I'm just gonna bring the stream to an end. Thank you all for tuning in. Till next time.